in greater detail on another occasion because Oklahoma is absolutely deep at running back. They're also really deep at defensive back, in particular safety. But who leads the Oklahoma defensive backfield coming up next year? We'll discuss coming up next year on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks again for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Also, go check out Ryland Styles and the Locked On Thunder podcast for all of your post-NBA championship needs. But Jay, we're going through some burning questions that the Oklahoman asked. They asked one for every position group, and we decided, hey, we're going to take one of these as we go throughout the offseason, as we get towards fall camp, and we'll ask one of these. Well, the first one we're going to start with is, who leads the defensive backfield with Billy Bowman's departure?
You know, I felt like it was going to be easy when you look at the veteran presence there, but I end up being conflicted. Now, I know you probably have your name in your mind, so I think I'm going to go ahead and let you give yours first, because I think I'm going to have some pushback on who you're going to select, because I have a feeling on who it is. But who you got, John?
All right. Well, I'm going to go with the guy that I think is going to be an All-American this year, and that's Robert Spears-Jennings.
Ooh!
This is a kid that was part of the 2022 recruiting class. He's a 4-star prospect out of the Tulsa area, and someone who has just grown into his role every single year more and more. He's earned more and more snaps every single year. When you talk about guys that trust the process, in the dictionary, it's defined by Robert Spears-Jennings.
I can totally see his face there. And I don't disagree with you there.
Go back to the 2022 season against Kansas. We saw him for like 5 snaps. And Jaden Daniels is running, or Jason Bean. It was Jason Bean. He's running left, trying to scramble down the sideline. Robert Spears-Jennings pulls a Billy Bowman against Jalen Milroe and just absolutely, or not Jalen Milroe, Luther Burden, excuse me, getting all my memories confused.
All convoluted in one place.
Remember in the Big 12, excuse me. Tear. Jason Bean and Robert Spears-Jennings just flattens him with speed on the sideline. He has grown so much. He's developed so much over the last few years, and he had a great start to the season in 2024. You go and you remember the big hit on Nico Yamaleava that forced the fumble down near the goal line. You remember the forced fumbles, the interceptions. He was making plays all over the place.
The sack on Peyton Thorne at the end on that blitzed call. Oh.
Just absolutely huge plays in the first half of the season. He's going to be even better this year. And
you're 100% right there. Now, I'm that's kind of a little surprised on that pick. I was thinking somebody else out of your mind. But I think that Robert Spears-Jennings is probably the one that should be the one to step up. But I don't think he's going to be the one that's going to become the big leader, de facto leader of this defense. I think the de facto leader of this secondary is going to end up being Kendall Dolby. And I say that because he's going to come back from that injury. He's already been fiery. Everyone's always talked about how fiery he is and how he always actually plays with his hair on fire in multiple positions on there. I expect him to be put in so many spots from cheetah to DB on a consistent basis and to where he can blitz or whatnot, that he's going to be in the ear of everybody at all 3 levels and be that leadership dude. So to me, I think Robert Spears-Jennings is probably going to end up being an All-American. He has every single tool to do that. But I think the one that's going to take the leadership spot that Billy Bowman had of being the dude that runs around back and forth, I think Kendall Dolby is going to end up stealing the spotlight there. Now, Billy Bowman would tell you it should be Peyton Bowen. That's the guy that Billy's has said in numerous occasions that he's that dude. He just needs to remind himself that he's that dude and go do it. We'll see if he gets that point. But honestly, I think Dolby's the one that I'm going to put all my chips in on him. That he's going to be the one that's going to change the game for him.
Yeah, so we'll find out. There's a lot of really good defensive backs in this room. Robert Spears-Jennings, Kendall Dolby. If either of those guys has a big season in the secondary, Oklahoma's defense is going to be really, really good. The great thing about Kendall Dolby, Jay, and you've touched on this on a number of occasions, is that he might play some cornerback for you because you're a little bit deeper at Cheetah with guys like Reggie Powers III and Kendall Daniels coming over from Oklahoma State, that you might be able to flex Kendall Dolby around a little bit depending on the matchup and depending on how you feel like your cornerbacks are performing week to week or throughout the season. If you feel like you need more veteran presence out there at corner, Kendall Dolby is your guy. Like, that's your Swiss Army knife, can do it all, has seen it all, an emotional leader for this team. Absolutely. And has a chance to make himself a lot of money if he can come back healthy and stay healthy, because remember back to 2023, how instrumental he was against Texas. This is a guy that has a chance to be an all SEC type player. And if you think that that's crazy, just remember the big plays that he made in that 2023 season, whether it was against Texas, against UCF. The dude just makes plays. He made them before he got injured last year. He was making plays. He's a playmaker. And you've got a lot of those in your secondary where you didn't have them before. But Brandon Hall, Jay Valai, Brent Venables, the defensive staff have put together a really nice secondary. A sleeper one here, Jay, Eli Bowen. That's one of those guys, like, I know I should probably be talking about a freshman All-American a little bit more than I do. And I apologize to the Bowen family for that. But Eli Bowen just did everything right. He did everything you'd ask a player to do. And as a true freshman, earned significant snaps. So if there's a guy out there that's an underclassman that could be the leader of this defense, I mean, Eli Bowen is the one that fits the bill there. Somebody that is stepping up, getting put into situations that nobody expected him to be in as a true freshman, except for maybe Eli Bowen. And he showed out.
He could be. Another one to even consider there too, you got Gentry Williams. And with Gentry, he's known for being a leader. He just hasn't been healthy for this past season. If he's good after the multiple, looks on that shoulder and it comes out well, man, he could end up being another de facto leader of that room. He's rated high. He can ball. All I got to do is see him be healthy. And that's actually another one that we can keep your eyes on. He could be also the next one that could end up being one of the leaders as well, between him, Eli, Dolby, Peyton. The good thing is you got a good amount of actual veteran presence. And I know at least two of them are vocal about it. We know Robert Spears-Jennings is very vocal. We know that Kendall Dolby is very vocal. If Gentry's vocal and Peyton's vocal, you may have yourself a nice conglomerate group of guys that's going to be pushing everybody else. I just need them to show up on the field this year. I just need the DB room to be one of the bigger strengths while this defensive line is out there putting in work. We get that. This defense, the sky's the limit. Because we just need really good reaction time. We didn't have that last year. We didn't have really good reaction time. We also was filtering through a lot of dudes. We was dealing with health, and we was transferring guys in. So you were getting a lot of Kanai. You was getting some Des Maloney. You was mixing it up a lot. You want some dudes that can go out there and one-on-one line up with somebody and it be it. So Eli, we've seen do it. We've seen Gentry do it before. Now, and we've seen Dolby do it. So now if all three of those are at the level of health that we need, John, there's no way we should be dusted out there.
If there's any room and group that needs a good season on defense, it's cornerback. Cornerback underperformed last year, and I think that's a nice way of saying it. They've got to be better. If Oklahoma's defense wants to be elite, cornerback has to be much better than what it was. You've got guys that are capable. You just got to have them healthy. Starting with Gentry Williams, has to have a healthy season. Again, a 4-star prospect in the 2022 class. We've seen the flashes. It's time to get healthy. It's time to stay on the field. Time to break out. It's Gentry Williams time. And that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. You can follow me at John9Williams. The show is at Locked On Sooners on all of your favorite social media platforms. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then and all off season long. Boomer
Sooner. Got a good shot on some of them players, man. That Jake Krill, oh my gosh.
He is too good.